back to the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens on December 18th, 2015. And today is day 2, or today's day 3 technically, well it's going to start soon anyway, of Star Wars Celebration 2015 from Anaheim, California. Day 2 was yesterday, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. It's going to be a quick one. Again, the first day there was so much coming out and there was a lot to talk about, but this one will be very quick. The main kind of thing was Battlefront, actually, which they had a big panel for. I didn't really watch most of it, to be honest, but I did see the trailer that they released. It's kind of the exclusive Battlefront EA Games trailer, which apparently a lot of people have been waiting for a long time. I've never played the old Battlefront games. I played a lot of Star Wars games, and in fact, part of this Road to Episode 7 series back in, I think, the 7th video in the series, I did a LucasArts Memories video, which I put a lot of time into that and talked about all the Star Wars video games I used to play and things, but Battlefront was never one of them, and I'm not really into those kind of like first-person shooter style games, which I believe this is, I'm not too sure, but I looked into it and it said that you can change between first-person and third-person perspective, so if it's third-person capability, then I'm quite interested in playing it, but yeah, a lot of people kicking off. I looked at some of the live stream, people were going crazy because there wasn't a gameplay trailer, and some of the comments were absolutely ridiculous and hilarious and just unbelievable, really. But either way, the trailer looked amazing. Like, just you can tell they put a lot of work into it, and they've been working on it for years now. And of course, the release date was announced. It's going to be this November that they're coming out with the game. So everyone who's looking forward to it is getting really excited, I think. Apparently, there's no single-player campaign, which again has been another source of controversy. But overall, it looks like a great game, and I think it's leaning more on multiplayer kind of stuff, which I think, you know, this day and age, a lot of people just play online multiplayer now. I was just playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online, actually, so yeah, it's becoming more the norm, so I don't see why not. But yeah, I'm not sure, like, if no single player campaign means you can't have a great experience playing the game on your own. I'm not too sure, but again, I'm not really like super into this, but I did watch the trailer. Again, I saw a video they posted a year ago, actually, I think it was, where they travelled out to like the locations in, I think, Norway, and in California to like Endor and Hoth, where they filmed those, and Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and they got like a real feel of everything to be authentic. Oh, of course, they went to the warehouse, they looked at all the props and stuff, so everything is going to look amazing in the game. The game trailer, even though it wasn't gameplay footage, looked fantastic. Like, the level of detail was amazing. At times, it almost looked like a film. You know, it's definitely going to be the best quality Star Wars game ever in terms of the graphics, for sure. And yeah, I might look into it maybe around Christmas time. We'll see what happens. There's also going to be some DLC called the Battle of Jakku. So again, the Jakku planet is coming into it, and because of the details of the game coming out, more was kind of shed light as far as the film goes. Of course, that crashed Star Destroyer, the desert planet in Episode 7, is called Jakku. And apparently there was this fight between the remnants of the Rebel Alliance and the Empire, that the Battle of Jakku, basically, and you get to play that in the game, which would be like a DLC, I think, that comes out in December, so again, pretty soon after the release of the game, and you can kind of play part of the story that forms The Force Awakens in a way. There's been a rumour, actually, people thinking that maybe Jakku is Tatooine, and then something has changed, and the name of the planet has changed. I don't think I'd buy that, but apparently it's a planet on the far of the outer rim. So, you know, again, in the first film, Luke said, you know, if there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet that's farthest from. So maybe it is Tatooine. I don't think so, but either way, Jakku is a planet we're going to get used to now. It's going to be part of the Star Wars canon. And again, this is another thing that was, this might turn into a longer video, actually. There was a canon panel, apparently. I didn't see it, but I read all the highlights, and they're talking about how they've made like the Lucasfilm story group, and they're having everything set in canon, and they're, you know, the comics that are coming out from Marvel, the shows, Rebels and things like that, they're having all within the same continuity. They're not ruling out bringing stuff from the expanded universe in at some point, but not right now. They're not going to be doing big novel series like New Jedi Order and stuff like that. It'll just be single novels and things like that. So anyone who's interested in canon, just look it up. But there was a canon panel, and again, they're bringing out like books and stuff in the run up to The Force Awakens. There was also announced that Marvel are doing a limited edition series, or limited series, I should say, not limited edition, a limited series of comics based on Lando Calrissian called Lando. The cover looks awesome. I really like the look of it. In fact, I'll put it up on screen now, as you can see. And yeah, I think there's other comics out. I haven't really delved too much into it, you know. I am a reader of comics, but not to the extent of going down and finding all these things. But yeah, it's cool that again that they're expanding it. Obviously, they're trying to make money, but they're creatively doing interesting things as well, which is great to see. Now, the big thing for me from day 2 of Star Wars Celebration this year was the panel with Carrie Fisher. Now, there's another one with Anthony Daniels, who plays C-3PO, called, I think, Inside the Heart and Chaos of C-3PO, or CP-3O. Now, apparently when Anthony Daniels said CP-3O on the opening Force Awakens panel, he was making a reference to the fact that on the screen it said hashtag CP-3O. So it seemed a bit subtle that he was making a joke about it, but fair enough, I'll let him off on that one. Someone pointed out to me in the comments. But yeah, Anthony Daniels, you know, for me, might have mentioned this before, and don't really like him that much. I've heard all the stories of him and Kenny Baker and how he's a bit of a twat to him and stuff, and kind of looked down on Kenny Baker because he was, you know, a midget, dwarf, whatever the politically correct term is, and would literally say, "Go away, little man," you know, that kind of thing. Bit stuck up, I think, and a bit self-important. Of course, respect what he's done. Love C-3PO, great character and everything. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the new film, but yeah, definitely a you know, not too fond of the guy himself. So I didn't watch the panel. I'm sure there's nothing too interesting in it either. But the Carrie Fisher panel, holy shit, it was batshit crazy. I mean, she's a nutter anyway. I mean, she's had a rough couple of decades. Let's be fair. She doesn't look too clever these days, and she's I think 58 now. So obviously she's getting on a bit, but you know, she's struggled with alcoholism and drug abuse and things like that, and she's done, I think, like a one-woman play about it and things like that. She's written books. So you know, I don't know whether it's just the effects of it or whether she's still on stuff, but she just seemed like a bit kind of drunk at times. But I think it looks like it's more of her just personality is a bit scatterbrained, you know. But she's very funny and very witty. And but again, was getting very distracting. She's there just in bare feet with her dog on her, you know, sitting next to her on the chair in front of like thousands of people. And then she's just sitting down on the stage, you know, just watching the screen, and she's like going all over the place. And it was manic, it really was. And she gave some great answers to questions and things like that. She was kissing fans. This guy got up on stage and she was full on snogging him. It was ridiculous. And then she said she was telling a story about her mother, Debbie Reynolds, who is still around and is a, you know, classic Hollywood actress. Carrie Fisher was talking about the first film she did, Shampoo, a couple of years before Star Wars in 1975, and there was a line in the film where her character says, "wanna fuck," basically. And so she was saying how her mother wasn't too fond of that. Now, here we have a panel, you know, it's a Disney-run thing now. You probably got kids in the audience, and she's like, "Oh, can I curse?" And they're kind of like, "Yeah, maybe not." And she's like, "Well, okay, well, I had to say wanna." So she mouthed it, so we got what she was trying to say. And then she said, "Well, my mum was a bit against that," and she said, "You fuckers, you said the F word," or something like that. And she said it, like, and it was just like, oh, and the host was like, oh god, it was just like, oh, and I just couldn't believe that she dropped an F-bomb in this panel. I don't know if they'll edit it out afterwards, because I watched it live, like about, I think 12:30 last night when I was going to sleep. I just had it on in the background, but I did watch all of it in the end, unfortunately, so I was up a bit later than I would like to have been, but yeah, she dropped the F-bomb, and then someone in the crowd said, "I want to force you," and it was like, oh my god. And then like they were using force instead of fuck, and they were playing around with it, and then the host was like, "The force does not mean consent, you can't force her," and it was like, oh my god, that's rape jokes now. My mind was just being blown. It was like, this is ridiculous. Again, I'm sure kids are watching this. Kids are probably in the panel crowd. And again, I don't know what the Disney executives are thinking about this, but anyway, maybe it's lenient and they don't care, I don't know, but for me it was just like, oh my god. But it was great, it was entertaining, and she was fun and interesting, and yeah, again, very funny, very witty, so that was a highlight for me. And but I'm interested to see how she's going to be in the film, you know. I hadn't really thought about that much before, but yeah, she seems almost like OCD at times, I don't know. Maybe that's libel. She seems like, I'm not saying she does have it, but yeah, very scatterbrained, but very entertaining, and I enjoyed it a lot. Today, day 3, will be the big Mark Hamill, the Return of the Jedi panel. Cannot wait for that. I will have to wait until tomorrow for that because it'll be far too late for me to stay up and watch live. So I'll catch you tomorrow for day 3 roundup, where I'll talk about that panel and anything else that comes out. But yeah, pretty much all the big juicy stuff's out now. This is just kind of going through just the festivities basically. And yeah, my reaction video for the trailer has gone like supernova. It's like 7,000 views, something crazy like that. I was featured in one of those big mashups where they put like all the reactions in one video, which is a bit of a mess, but cool to be a part of one of those, I guess. Although I think that when people do that, they should credit the YouTubers in the description, just saying. But I'm not too bothered, really. It doesn't really matter. It's all creative and all open, and you know, I don't mind about stuff like that unless people take my videos and post it as their own, which I've seen people do before, and it's ridiculous, and I've had it taken down. But anyway, tangent now. It's cool to see all the reactions, and I'll talk more about the reactions in another video because there's a lot more actually that's popping into my head. But I don't want this video to be too much longer. So day 2, there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow for the day 3 roundup.
I don't know, 5 seconds.